going back to what you said on the first day of training camp last season. So I'm talking September 2019. And the quote that you gave us that day was you were basically focusing on what you thought the key areas for improvement were. And you said doing a better job in our own end and doing a better job on the penalty kill. So I was curious to hear your assessment of how you think the team did in those areas last year. And then looking forward, what do you see as the key areas to improve for this season?
Well, I thought as the season went on, we certainly got better in the D-zone situation. From our analytics, I thought from what our analytics tell us over the last 20 to 30 games, we're in the top 10 in a lot of defensive categories that we weren't anywhere near in the beginning of the season. Now, obviously, when the season ended, we certainly weren't where we needed to be from a defensive standpoint. But I thought we were certainly trending in the right direction. I mean, you don't have the 6-7 week stretch we had from January 7th on and not at least play better defense, which I thought we did. I thought we found a good balance of offense and defense. We don't have to sacrifice offense to play good defense. And I thought we did find that balance. Our penalty kill was inconsistent. I thought there were stretches we were pretty good, but we were bad. And one of the things we have to do on the penalty kill is avoid those games where we're giving up 3 or 4 goals, or those stretches where we're killing at 65 to 70%. And that has killed us. Our consistency on the kill has not been good. It's certainly an area that we have to continue to work on and get better at.
What are your thoughts / intentions about the captaincy?
Yeah, we're going to continue to evaluate that situation. Obviously, it's something that's been talked an awful lot about since I've been here over the last 3 years. And obviously, it's a topic that people want to talk about, but it's an organizational decision, Larry, and it's something that we take very seriously here. And there are candidates we feel that we have here on the team, but right now we're just going to continue to sit where we're at and at the right time name a captain.
We haven't spoken to you since, I don't think, since the lottery and since the pick, and so we don't have your thoughts on Alexis Lafreniere. What do you know about him now, and what are your expectations for him?
Well, I really haven't seen him live much other than some of the skates here. We did have lunch, so I can report that he's got good table manners and he knows how to order food properly. But one of the things I love about him as an athlete is not only does he obviously have world-class skill, but the way he approaches the game. There's a lot of characteristics you need to be a great player. Talent's one of them. He certainly has that. But certainly the way he carries himself, his work ethic, his determination, I think gives him a chance to be a really special player.
Lafreniere, Carpy just asked about it briefly there. The expectations. I wonder your expectations change for a player who comes in like him, number 1 pick, lots of hype, no development camp, no prospects tournament, not a full training camp, no exhibition games. How does that impact what you think you might get out of him, especially early in the season?
Well, one of the things that we focus on with our players is just come here and work hard and be the best player you can possibly be. And some people are able to adapt to this league quicker than others. And obviously it's a difficult league for an 18-year-old, no matter where you picked, no matter where you've played, no matter how much talent they have. And he's certainly going to have every opportunity to take advantage of the skills that he has. And obviously he's been an elite player for a long time. I expect him to come in here, work hard, and earn everything he gets.
Just a couple of things, David. With all the protocols and the times your league and your players and the coaching staff is in, how much do you police what your players do? Or is that self-policed and just trying to pay attention to what's going on?
There's certainly a lot of self-policing in this situation, Dave. Obviously, we have all the resources here to put them in a position to work in a safe environment. Jim Ramsey has done an incredible job in managing this situation. It's been a very difficult 9-10 month stretch here for everybody, especially for people in pro sports who are trying to allow their teams to participate and stay healthy and be successful. It's an incredible balancing act. He's done a phenomenal job, him and his staff. But really the onus does fall on the players when they leave here. They're only here for 3 hours, so there's only so much we can do here. And for the next 21 hours, they're on their own, and they've got to make good, rational decisions and understand that every decision they make needs to be in the best position, to put themselves in the best position to stay COVID-free and to be able to finish the season and start the season and finish the season. So there certainly is a lot of self-responsibility in this situation.
Hey, David, the NHL protocols this year are going to make you guys as coaches wear masks behind the bench. I'm wondering what you make of that and how that might change your staff.
I mean, I think it's the right move under these circumstances. I think it's safe. If it helps a little bit, we should all do it. So certainly our staff is embracing it. Our organization's embracing it. And, we're just going to have to manage it. And obviously we can, when you're coaching, when you're the head coach, you're constantly talking about lines and who's up and who's not. So it might be a little bit more difficult on our sport than it is the others, but we just have to make it work.
I know when you had the camp for the play-in, you thought those exhibition games were important. When doing player evaluations, do we as the media maybe put too much emphasis on exhibition games, or how important would they be when you look at a player like Keandre or Anthony Potato game situations? And the second part of it is, for you, the exhibition game, especially with a new assistant coach in Jacques Martin, how important would those exhibition games be for you to develop that rhythm, in-game rhythm with him?
Yeah, well, the two scrimmages we're going to set here, which are, game-like environments where we're playing at 7 o'clock at night, they're going to go a long way in preparation and evaluation. And obviously, having Jacques on staff, we feel very fortunate to be able to place Lindy with Jacques. He's got a wealth of experience and knowledge. He's been very successful as a head coach, obviously coming from Pitt, being on the staff that won 2 Stanley Cups. He's going to be a great resource for all of us here in the organization. So it will give us all a little bit of a game-like feel, but we will be on different benches, so maybe that might cause a little bit of an issue from that end of it. But just going through the game day preparation, I think will help us as a staff.
Yeah, David, can you say, have you determined where Howden and Barron will start? Where are you going to take a look at them first? Because you obviously don't have a lot of time in camp. So do you have them pigeonholed in one spot, or are you going to move them back and forth?
Yeah, I've mentioned this a lot, Larry, that last year we had an awful lot of uncertainty. This year we don't have as much, but there are some moving parts. So I think we're going to kind of try some things out. One day put one guy with 2 players, and then the next day change it a little bit just to get a better feel. So, tomorrow, obviously, we're not going to have Mika, so I'm going to put Howden with Buchnevich and Kreider just because I don't want to disrupt the other lines, and then maybe put Barron in that position the next day, and then just switch those 2 position-wise. So, we're not having Mika here kind of changes things a little bit, but I think early on, Larry, we're going to kind of mix and match a little bit with some lines just to see what it looks like.
This obviously is going to be a completely different and very unique year, unlike any you've ever had as a coach. What do you think, whether it's the schedule or the amount of games in a short amount of time, whatever it is, what do you think are going to be the most challenging aspects of your job between now and the end of May?
I just think managing the limited number of practices you have in preparation, keeping people fresh yet also in great shape. I think that's going to be a challenge for a lot of people. The condensed training camp, not having a lot of time, is going to be a challenge for everybody. We feel fortunate that we do have some continuity with some of our lines, and with our deep, a lot of our defensemen back from last year. The pairings are going to change a little bit, but we just feel as a staff there's a little bit more stability now, and there isn't the big turnover and a lot of question marks that we had last year. So, but I really believe it's getting off to a good start. You have to get off to a good start this year. You can't dig yourself a hole, and avoid those losing streaks. It's going to be pivotal this year for everybody.
David, you spoke about the captaincy briefly, and I understand all that, but you lost 2 alternate captains and a real team leader in goal during the offseason. What do you do about that replacing that kind of leadership?
Well, I think sometimes when you have people that have been here a long time, like Hank and like Stalzy and Jesper Fast, I mean, those guys were so instrumental in a lot of great success here within our organization. And, they had such a great presence in the locker room, but sometimes when they move on, it gives people an opportunity to step forward and really grab hold of that leadership role. And sometimes people are a little bit more reluctant to maybe take on a leadership role because you have those types of personalities here. So, I think it's going to fall upon some of the guys that are in their mid-20s, the veterans we have here, to maybe take advantage of the opportunity to grab a leadership role. And, maybe we'll have more leadership throughout the roster because of it.
You mentioned wanting to look at different combos on different days. And one of the things that Jeff mentioned in the offseason that I wanted to ask you about is last year you guys basically stuck with your right-handed defenseman on the right side, your left-handed defenseman on the left side. Jeff mentioned in particular maybe Tony or Adam Fox getting a look on the left. Is that something that you want to take a close look at during camp and could be a possibility this season?
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to start. We all have secrets here. We're going to start Tony on the left side with Trouba. I think they both have the ability to do that. Tony and I have talked about it last year. We talked about it this year. He's going to play the left side with Trouba to start. So, we think these guys are skilled enough and athletic enough to handle that transition.
Yeah, David, I guess a similar question for up front. You mentioned, with Howden, with Buchnevich and Kreider. Where do you slot Lafreniere right now, and who would be on his line? We're not going to be there tomorrow to see it, so what could it be?
Lafreniere will start with Hedel and Gauthier. And again, I would warn everybody to go look at last year's training camp and looked at the lines when we started. So I'm not 100% sold on anything. This is certainly just a beginning. There's a lot of reasons why we do what we do, but that's how we're going to start.
David, I know the schedule before was you're playing a lot of division games. When you're playing the same team 8 times, sometimes 2 or 3 times in a row, what do you think that's going to do to games, kind of the temperature of what games are going to be like this season?
It'll make pre-scout a lot easier, I'll tell you that. But certainly when you get into those situations where you're playing back-to-backs and maybe seeing the same team 4 times or 3 times in 2 weeks, there's certainly can be a lot more animosity created when you see a team as often as we're going to see teams. And you may see a little bit more feistiness throughout the NHL this year because of the frequency you're going to play one team. So, when a game is played that the pace ours is in a small area, then that can happen. And certainly we want to play on the edge. We want to play fast. We want to play physical. We want to be on top of people, and as does everybody. You never hear a coach say that they want to play slow and soft. So, but I think it's going to lend itself to a lot more entertaining hockey from a physical standpoint.
D'Angelo moves to the left, who slots in on the right in his spot.
On that side, well, Smitty's been able to do it. Potato can do it. Miller can do it. Again, Larry, those guys.
Who do you have there tomorrow?
Tomorrow, well, we got the guys on different spots. I don't have the thing in front of me right now. I think Johnson is playing with Smith tomorrow on the right side.